Ay, 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 ay.
Hey,
It's
friends
Lucky
with
Movie
Movie
Club.
Club.
Hey, this is our annual get together of the surviving members.
Surviving.
Hi.
Very jumpy.
It is jump. It was not
This
jumpy today.
week,
It's because Mark's not here.
Amy, yeah,
What did I do?
your
He's
computer's
stabilizing.
not on, so it's jumpy on.
Yeah.
Text
On
Danielle,
Dole.
have her put on your computer so that it evens out my Wi-Fi
Yeah,
signal.
she'll love that. She'll love that one too. All right, this week Annie picked Singing in the Rain from 1952, which is number
You
11
picked it?
on the Frankie
I think
list.
that was Frank. I thought you picked
No,
it.
it wasn't me. No, it was you.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay, I am Frank
You watched the
Gaffney,
movie for no reason?
the leader of this ragtag group. With
Asshole.
us today is Joel. We're actually at Joel's house having bagels. Goldfuck, no cringer.
Oh, my boy.
Mark G. Holtitz Gartner. And Annie. And then we have special guests.
The audience.
And Dan. And please excuse the messy kitchen.
But I'm going to show it to you anyway.
Great. Now Natasha's going to divorce me.
Uh-oh. All right. Hey, Annie, what's Singing in the Rain?
Come up with something.
Because I've never seen it before and it's on your list. I
It
think
is on
it's
my list. It's number 11.
wow.
But thank you for that. Okay, so here's the plot of the movie. When the transition is being made from silent films to talkies in the 1920s, everyone has trouble adapting, and Dawn, played by Gene Kelly, and Lena, played by Jean Hagen, have been cast repeatedly as a romantic couple. But when the latest film is remade
Were you doing that too?
into a musical, only Dawn has the voice for the part. Lena does not. Donald O'Connor is Gene's pal, and a 19-year-old Debbie Reynolds is his love interest and the one who is picked to dub Lena's voice.
Yeah, I see.
There are other musicals I like better than this one, but this one is so much fun. And this was my review. Amy hates when I read a review because it's like, who wrote that? It wasn't you. But I wrote this one, I swear to God.
Yeah. All right, let's see.
All right. It's charming, infectiously exuberant, and plain old entertaining.
Infectiously exuberant.
That's a Frank.
Hey, I know how to look up words in that. I know how to look up words in that thesaurus. All right, anyway. I'm not going to read it now.
Fine. Oh, you should have thrown it.
Okay. And well, so it covers and it skewers the whole problem of Hollywood when talkies came about. And it was a genuine thing, right? Some people
There were definitely
had to
some.
leave.
There were definitely some silent stars who were unable to make the transition,
Some because
from
of thick accents.
right, and odd vocals
Who's
or
the
shyness.
one that had an odd vocal? Some guy, John
John Gilbert.
Gilbert.
Yeah.
Nobody liked his voice.
Didn't Buster Keaton also, you said, did not do well after?
Yeah, but it had nothing to do with his voice.
Oh,
He's
okay.
couldn't act.
It had nothing to do with that either. He had alcohol problems.
Oh.
And he
Alcohol problems?
yes.
No problem with alcohol.
He had alcohol problems. He wound up signing with MGM. They didn't use him properly, so his first couple of movies didn't do well. They didn't know what to do with him. So his career just kind of
Fizzled out.
and faded. But
All right. Well, this one, "Singing in the Rain," actually came about as an attempt to save. Oh wait, no. It was conceived as a vehicle for the songs of MGM producer Arthur Freed, who was head of the Freed unit, which turned out musicals.
yes,
And so he and his songwriting partner, Nacio Herb Brown, all songs they had written between the 1920s, 1930s. And so this is kind of the first jukebox musical.
kind of.
And only 2 songs were written for the film.
Yep.
Actually written for the film.
And one was not.
And one of them was technically plagiarized.
Which 2?
Make him laugh.
Make them laugh, which
And-
sounds like Be a Clown.
Right. Yeah, it doesn't sound like Be a Clown.
It
It is
Be
Be
a
a Clown. And Moses Opposes.
Which also was cribbed from something.
Yes. Yeah.
I
It
always
was an
thought that
elocution lesson.
Wait, so Singing in the Rain was already a song?
Oh yeah, but
Shot
it was like 7 movies before it was in this one.
Yeah,
So,
actually, at
It's
the
like
beginning
Christmas.
of That's Entertainment,
Yeah.
there's 3 different clips of Singing in
Yep.
the Rain starts the show. All right. And while Donald O'Connor is a marvel of comic relief
God.
and Debbie Reynolds is irresistible, the standout performance here is Jean Hagen. Her Lena Lamont, the silent movie diva, ruined by a voice that is, well, perfect for silent films. It's comic genius. She got nominated for an Oscar, deservedly. The only time that I think I'd never seen the whole movie before. I started watching this group of things because I'd seen so many parts of it. And the only part, so I didn't love it as much as I did, but the part that was just a little torturous was that 14-minute Broadway ballet. But it only came about because Arthur Freed, the year before Gene Kelly had done American Paris, had a beautiful ballet in it. And they're like, oh, let's do something like that in a comical way. And that's why it came out there.
Yep.
And because Debbie Reynolds couldn't cut it in the dance segment, they got Sid Charisse to do the ballet part.
Well, that's not the only reason.
The complex pas de deux. And it's lovely, but it was too long. And then, but of course, there are 2 incredible numbers that will be forever among the best musical numbers put on film. That 5 minutes of Singing in the Rain, great. And Donald O'Connor, derivative musically, but truly amazing and inventive, make them laugh. Both of those are classic. One of the greatest movies ever made. So then I did notes while I was watching it again this time. And the beginning, it said Betty Comden and Adolph Green's script was suggested by the song Singing in the Rain. What?
Yeah.
How do you suggest a whole musical on one song?
Well, it wasn't that one song. It was in the sense that Arthur Freed was like, okay, I need you to use this song.
Yeah.
And so everything else.
Song, so I can get royalties.
Right. So, but that's, that's where the suggested by that song comes in.
Yeah.
Nothing suggested by it. They had a reverse engineer a script around his songs.
But
they did it brilliantly.
Yes, I would say more. I was suggested by all of those songs.
Yeah.
They're like, what song would go here? Let's put a song on this. I like that song. Let's try that one. Anyway, it was just a weird title on a card for me. And then Kathleen Freeman. That was fun to see her being 20 years old. And then Debbie's laugh when he rips his coat was so.
Why do we know Kathleen Freeman? Yeah, we know her.
Kathleen Freeman did a million movies.
You'd know her if you saw her.
Yeah, you know her old.
No, you know her if you saw her in a more recent, well, not more recent, but like in a movie from the 80s or 90s.
Yeah.
She was in the Blues Brothers.
Yeah.
Wasn't she the nun at the beginning with them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she in this movie, she was the one who was teaching her diction.
Oh yes,
which is funny. Which is funny because in real life, Jean Hagen doesn't have that voice.
I could tell.
And in real life, Kathleen Freeman has a voice that is very distinctive.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. So for her to be playing the diction teacher coach is funny.
She's also in
What is that?
The Nutty Professor.
That is Midge.
She's in The Nutty Professor. I think.
Oh, maybe that's why I really know her.
Okay. Well, anyway. But how funny when Debbie Reynolds laughed when he ripped his coat. I'm like, that is the fakest laugh.
She hated him.
And then, and then they all get the idea to change the stinker of movie into musical, and they don't even consult anybody. They're like, yeah, let's do it. We'll tell the studio head tomorrow.
Yeah, but I will. I have this in my notes, which I didn't bring. That when they said, "What is it?" The two Cavaliers. The Dueling Cavaliers is now a musical. It did have I love White Christmas, and it had that whole.
Let's put on a show.
Yeah, it was fun. It totally got me excited. It worked for me.
I just thought it was funny that they could just decide that. And then this was a thing when Debbie Reynolds actually went to dub the voice. I'm like, that is not Debbie Reynolds' talking voice. That is not her singing voice. What is going on right now? So I made Amy look it up.
Yeah.
Jean Hagen dubbed her own voice.
Well,
for the speaking.
She said the line. Her voice.
So she was dubbing.
That's her real voice.
What's her name?
Jean Hagen is dubbing Debbie Reynolds.
Debbie Reynolds. So that was her real speaking. She has a beautiful voice like
Yeah.
this. She didn't really talk like this.
Yeah.
But then when she sang, her singing voice at the end was done by something No Yes.
Noy.
Betty No Yes. No Yes.
No, yes,
She
no.
did- yes, no, no yes. So she did the singing for her.
Oh yes.
So maybe Jean couldn't sing.
But Betty Noyes is probably more famous for singing Baby Mine from Dumbo. Baby mine, dry your eyes.
And some episode of I Love Lucy.
Yeah. And then, so that was the song that was Would You, Would You? I'm like, that is not her singing. Anyway, so, and then I got so caught up, I didn't write another note. Because it is a fun movie. Definitely a remote dropper, obviously, since I've seen parts of it over the years. Anyway, here's my question for the group. Is it the greatest movie musical of all time, Joel?
Hard to say when you haven't seen all of them.
Well, you should have
It's,
seen it.
you know, I'm going to go with yes.
Really?
Yes.
No.
Because it
Well,
really,
you're wrong. Joel.
yeah, I'm wrong.
Next.
That's fine. Okay. I'll shut up then.
No, go ahead.
I think, you know, I think it is because it's a summation of almost everything that MGM had done musically up until that point. So, and it really is,
Hence horning in that ballet.
yeah, and yeah, and even with the ballet, I don't think, you know, I could take it or leave it, but you know, for me, it doesn't detract from the movie at all. You know, are there musicals that have more depth to them? Yes. Are there musicals that might be more entertaining? Perhaps. But I think this encapsulates so much about Hollywood at
And
that
MGM
time
more
and MGM,
specifically.
yeah. But not just Hollywood in the 50s with MGM, but Hollywood in the late 20s with that changeover from silent to sound film. You know, those stories that, you know, the movie is based on actual stories that, you know, Comden and Green had heard from people who worked on silent films. You
Right.
know? So I love the movie. I think it's a great piece. I've seen it a bazillion times, and
Well, you're doing your review
I
Answer my question.
Yes, I said yes.
now. I'm saying no. And Amy suggested, and I forgot to show Joel's thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's so
Oh,
cute.
your thing off the-
We're not going to show Mark's. There you go.
Very cute.
That's
Nice.
very cute. And this came with what? You just
Nothing.
bought this.
Yeah, it was just a Funko Pop.
It's a Funko Pop. That's a big Funko.
It is a big, well, it's a big Funko Pop because it's got him on the lamp, the
Yeah.
lamppost.
That's very cute.
He'll go next to the
Yeah,
series
put
of
this in my
Hitchcock
bag.
films. Yeah,
No, for me, I agree with Amy.
That the best musical of all time
It's
is West
West
Side
Side
Story.
Story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of all the ones I've seen, that's the one that
that's
I
an
watched
adaptation.
It
over
is,
and
but-
over and over.
Where it's on film. I actually think the film version of it is better than the play.
Well, because you can understand the film.
You can't understand the play.
Oh, I'm thinking it's better than Romeo and Juliet, you were saying.
No, the play version. of it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh my God. When I first saw it, I watched it every single day. I had the VHS, and that was it. I was done.
Mark doesn't want to weigh in because he's probably seen two musicals.
I was going to say, I'm not an expert in this
and this is
field.
one of them.
You can
No.
add Wicked to your
No,
list. That was a
no,
lot of fun.
no, but
That's way up there too.
for me, I grew up with The Wizard of Oz,
Oh,
and that
wow.
will never
Okay.
be dethroned. That's my favorite of all
Aw.
time.
Yeah.
Oh,
I get that. Annie?
Yeah, no, not for me. I've seen musicals that I like better.
like what?
What's the
greatest
best of
time?
all time, in your opinion?
So there was a big question, like I didn't know if you meant a musical just from it is or from Broadway adapted
think
or
just
just on film.
Yeah, I guess there would be two subcategories.
Yeah.
Original to the screen and adapted musical.
This isn't the Oscars.
Yeah, because then there's a lot, like,
Right.
you know, but I mean, I'm partial to A Chorus Line and Grease.
Right.
Oh my
You
God,
know,
Freeze!
Like the movie version of A Chorus Line?
No,
No, the-
not as much as.
I just wanted to, you know, make sure that.
Yeah,
you know,
no.
because
Grease,
But,
oh my
but
God.
the
because we'd have to
music
throw
in
you out.
Chorus Line
yes.
to me is,
sure.
yeah,
So Grease.
for Grease.
Grease and West Side are both.
Rent.
See, I don't. Yeah, I don't. I think Grease is more. It's fun. It's not a great movie. West Side
Rent?
Story is a great movie. No, not the
Not
movie
Rent?
version. No.
Not the movie version.
Unless you watch the one was filmed on Broadway, the final
Those
performance.
That's not a movie.
That
I
doesn't
know,
count.
but
That's a
that
third
is-
subcategory.
Then Hamilton.
Yeah.
You know.
That is perfect.
Mm.
Hamilton, right? They filmed
Yeah.
Yeah.
the show.
Yes.
That's not a movie though. Okay. So I thought going in I was gonna do 4 stars, but I'm gonna do 3.75. And if you haven't seen this one, shame on you. And I'm pretty sure this was Mark's first time.
So shame on you.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Do you want to go next, Joel? Then we'll just move to laser.
Sure. 4 stars. I got nothing else to say. It's a great movie. It's a great movie. Yeah, see, I own it on it's a 4K disc.
Steel box.
I still have my Criterion laser disc too, but I wasn't gonna pull that out.
Does it have other things?
It does. It has an audio commentary by
Stanley Donen,
no,
Jane Kelly.
by a
Mr.
film
Historian?
historian named Ron Haver.
Oh yeah, him.
He's unfortunately he's no longer with us, and it's the only way to listen to it is on the laser disc because Criterion does not have it on DVD, Blu-ray, or 4K. So
It's a Criterion movie.
that particular version is, yes,
Oh, okay.
number 52 on laser
On your
disc.
Criterion. All right.
I wrote one note.
Ah.
When he was describing the Broadway melody to the director and we saw what was in his head, it was 15 minutes of song and dance and it was just too long.
That was what I said.
I know, but I had to reiterate my note because it was the only note I wrote. Because otherwise, first time I saw this movie was probably in the 90s and I loved it, loved it, loved it. And I watched it a million times. There was no West Side Story, but I really, really enjoyed it. So I went in just like Frank did last week saying there's going to be at least 3 of us giving it a 4-star review. But
Obviously not.
right. But like Frank, I'm going to 3.75.
Yeah.
Mostly for that 15 minutes of, oh my God, already.
There were more than a few moments when I was like, this just seems kind of horned in here. Why is this scene here just to do this number?
Well, again, it was as you stated. It was they had this very successful film the previous year with An American in Paris, and they
That
figured,
had a whole plot.
well, yes, this is just it is kind of shoehorned in, but they worked it in, and part of it is because Gene Kelly was a
Workhorse?
yeah. So let's go with
Yeah.
workhorse. I was trying to think of other terms, but workhorse.
Asshole.
Yes, yeah, sure, that works too.
Douchebag.
Um,
Well,
and
there's a whole generation of guys who think they need to be mean to get the best out of you.
sure, but
My father was one of those.
when everybody on the film that you're working with hates you,
Yeah.
that's a problem.
Maybe it's me.
Right. If
d-
everybody around you's assholes, maybe you're the asshole.
Yeah, I mean, how many of those people who worked with him on Singing in the Rain never worked with him again specifically because of their experience there?
Yeah.
You know,
I felt like that at the carriage house as well.
I
You're the asshole?
that's how the rest of us know.
yeah, just to ask me. I did love the whole story of it being all about the talkies, which was a lot of fun, interesting, and I love that they actually referenced the jazz singer. They didn't just make up something. So I like that a lot.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So many movies, they'll just make up other titles
Yeah.
and be like, that was never a movie. What are they talking about?
Of course, the fun part is that now Warner Brothers owns both of those movies. So,
Oh,
they,
that's
Why
right.
is that the fun part, Joe?
well, because they now own Singing in the Rain as well. So, it's just, I don't know. I'll shut up now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you
That's a
heard it,
superfluous comment.
if you heard it in Singing in the Rain, now you can go and watch the
The
jazz
jazz
singer
singer.
because you heard about it.
There you
Yes.
go.
With all of its blackface scenes.
Oh, it was of its time, Joe.
I know. You have a little bit of that in this too. They're walking through the studio and all the natives.
Oh, right.
Oh, yeah, I saw
Oh, I remember thinking, wow.
And that was in color.
That would never fly today.
No.
No, it would not.
All right, Mark.
I left my notes at home, so I'll go off the top of my head. I really liked it.
Amy, look at the top of his head. First
Definitely-
time seeing it.
First time seeing it, and Amy was telling me repeatedly, you're gonna like it better than you think because it's a comedy, and you're absolutely right. I really enjoyed the banter, especially his BFF. What's his name? Connell O'Donnell.
O'Donnell.
Okay, yeah, that guy.
Were
He-
his eyes any bluer?
Oh my God.
I'm
I
colorblind.
remember thinking the most beautiful.
He was great. His comebacks, ball busting, I loved it.
He
I
needs to watch this.
I appreciated the dancing and athleticism throughout, especially Donald O'Connor when he was singing "Make 'Em Laugh" and he jumped up from the seat of the piano to on top of the piano like he floated. It was fantastic. I love that. The beginning of the movie, right after the opening credits, the woman announcing all the celebrities showing up to the event, Danielle yells out, "Andrea!" That's who she would be playing. Look at that again.
Do you know who that actress is?
No.
That was Aunt Harriet on Batman in the 60s.
That's funny. That's funny.
Madge Blake.
What else? I liked all the numbers. One of the numbers, it was like a musical montage with a whole bunch of people in it. Whoever wrote that was on the drugs because it was weird.
This is what she's talking about that she hated it was too long.
Oh, okay,
50-minute
yeah.
montage.
But there was especially some parts were just.
God damn.
I really liked Singing in the Rain, the actual number.
Yeah.
And to share my little story, the day before on Monday, it was rainy out, and at work, I had to walk to another building, carry stuff, and I walked through a whole bunch of rainwater or whatever. My feet got wet, and I hate having my feet wet. So I took off my shoes when I got back to my desk, let my feet air out. Fast forward, I left work, go to the gym, and this is why I hate people because people are slobs. Someone had obviously taken a shower, just walked out, probably naked or whatever it is. And I'm standing, I'm changing, and I realize that I'm standing in water, the bottom of my feet now, all wet, second time of the day. So pissed. So it was nice to see the next day that at least those three had way wetter feet than I did when they were standing in the park because they must have been miserable filming that. That's all I could think of because I don't like being wet like that.
Water.
You're doing it take after take after take, hours and hours. I'm sure it's got to be.
That wouldn't bother me.
And didn't he have a cold too?
Huh?
Oh,
Did he
it's
have pneumonia?
Rumor is that he was running a fever, but it's that's one of those stories that like some people have said yes, that's what it was, and others said no. So who
And
knows?
at the end of it, we both had really enjoyed it, and I was like, oh, I got to look up Gene Kelly, and that's when I read all this trivia that he was in fact an asshole, which kind of ruined it right afterwards.
Yeah.
So it's 3.5 stars for me.
Nice.
Yeah.
I was sure you were going to really hate it.
Like it was in black and white.
Based on your comment when he texted, what's your best movie? And you're like, I refrained from this. I'm like, oh, he hated it.
No, he refrains because he doesn't really watch musical.
I mean, but I want to
Okay.
think about it. I guess you name all these things. I have actually seen most of those, and I really like White Christmas. We watch it almost every year. So I don't hate all
To
old
me,
movies.
that movie is long.
Oh,
I would not watch
how dare
it.
you?
I think next year we're definitely adding the umbrellas.
And West Side Story.
Sure. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I had never seen that movie. Anyway, Annie.
Yeah. And by the way, I just looked it up. It was Amy who suggested this movie,
it?
not
Did
me.
you?
I probably did because we have talked about it, and you had. Next year I'm making
That's
us watch
funny.
it.
Yeah.
Had you seen this
Right.
before?
No, no.
Why? No, I'm kidding.
It just never popped up, I know the music and stuff, but never really popped up. And yeah, it was, the best thing to me was like tap dancing because I really love tap dancing.
Right.
My girls tap dance, so that was
Tap dancing was fabulous.
That was
Yeah.
fantastic. Yeah.
So that like raised it to the 2.75.
Oh my gosh, she's out.
That's enough from her.
Yeah, I just didn't really
Okay.
it was the storyline was okay, it was good, but I just felt so all over, yeah. Never really got
didn't
into
click
it.
for you.
Yeah, it didn't.
Well, it's definitely.
But maybe if I watch it, by the fifth time, it'll go up.
To 3 stars.
Yes.
It's definitely one of those movies that grow on you as you watch it for sure. But
Well, and also like that the singing in the rain scene, like you could see like the water just kept getting higher and higher. Like it wasn't draining like it should have. And I felt like, oh my God, he's like going to like
he's gonna drown.
drown. Like there's so much water.
Well, they had to overcompensate because when they started shooting it initially, there were water pressure issues because I guess Studio City at the time.
This is before Chinatown.
This is before Chinatown. Yeah.
They had water problems.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, people would come home from work and they would start sprinkling their lawns and stuff like that. So the studio was shooting these scenes towards the end of the day, and they would have like
Low water.
low water
That's
pressure.
fine.
They didn't have a lot of rain, so they had to reconfigure it. I don't remember the whole story.
It's in the trivia.
It's in the truth.
That is quite the story,
Yeah.
Joel.
Yeah, I'm
Very good.
distracted by midgets snoring, by my
I
mom
don't
leaving
know
a
that you're gonna
message.
hear this. I don't
Yeah.
think you're gonna hear the snoring here. You might hear the phone ringing and the message thing, but I don't know if you'll hear the snoring. Well, that was fun. Okay. I was gonna say something else. I forgot. All right, I'm old. All right. Okay. Singing in the Rain is available on Max. That's where we watched it
Because it's a Warner Brothers film now.
because it's
In
now.
spite of it saying MGM at the film.
Yeah.
Next week we're going back to the MCU, which is the whole reason we started. Wait, do I have to stand up? I can't say it. Wait,
Fine. There you go.
We knock over everything.
somebody turn around and see the back. Natasha. Wait, okay. Crack.
Got the crack out.
Natasha made these shirts for us 2 years ago.
Now she has to add on.
Yeah,
Yes,
wow.
yes,
It's
Yeah.
outdated.
Yes.
It's outdated now. Because we started watching all the MCU movies. We watched one a week for 23 weeks or something. No, we're not doing that again. Well, we can watch just the ones we liked. So, I wrote here, which is the Thunderbolts, which is only available in theaters. Is this the Young Avengers? That's what I wrote. But
No, that's
now
a
it
different
says-
team.
But now it says
The new Avengers, the Young Avengers is a different team.
And the nude Avengers is entirely
The
different.
nude Avengers, yes.
Joel, I'm gonna keep talking to you. Go over there and stop the machine.
Oh,
Gotta go over there and stop.
So go watch a movie.
He's Frank Gaffney.
I'm Frank Gaffney. Go watch a movie. Thunderbolts.
And also with you.
Now